Hello, Mitzvah Tools early adopter. Rabbi Dan Moskovitz here, and Cantor Mark Bridowich and I are so excited to share with you Mitzvah Tools 2.0. We want to give you a glimpse behind the curtain. We've been developing this program for over a year now. It's completely rewritten from the ground up, based on the principles we learned in our 10 years of development with Mitzvah Tools 1, but a completely new platform, mobile responsive, really responding to our user feedback over these years. And we are just so excited. We are just days away from launch. But we're not quite there yet. We've got a few little things we've got to work out. You'll see some of them in this demo. But I want to show you what it does and take you behind the curtain, so to speak, and show you all that we've been working on. It is just about in your hands, and we are just days away from launching it to you and going live. So first, let me log in. I'm going to log in as my rabbinic alter ego, David Cohen. There's got to be a Rabbi David Cohen someplace. And so we log in with our username and our password. And then the first thing that David is going to see when he logs in is his profile. Now, David is a program manager. You can see that up here in the upper right-hand corner. That means that he has access to program settings. If David was not a program manager, but instead was put into the program as an educator, there would be certain things like settings and the ability to create students or to create staff members in Mitzvah Tools that he would not have access to. So a lot of that is in program settings. I'm not going to take you into there right now beyond just clicking on it to show you that it does exist. Account billing, honors settings, sending the invites to your students and your faculty members and parents and educators, setting up the bar mitzvah locations, student progress reports. But I'll take you back to the dashboard, which is what you'll see when you log in. And we can see here that we have 2 staff members in the system. This is just sample data, so we have David Cohen, myself in this case, and Jacob, who is a tutor. If we wanted to add another staff account, we simply click on Add the Account. Here's Jacob, the tutor's profile. We've uploaded this picture. You can do that very easily. To create a new staff account is really quite simple. You click Create Staff Account, and you select their role, their access permissions, you upload their picture, enter their name, first and last. It'll create a username from that. You can enter in Hebrew name, and you need to enter in their email address. And then the rest of these fields are all optional, but they're very helpful if you put them in. FaceTime and Skype name, their address, those kinds of things. We're not going to use that now, but just to show you that's how you would do it. Again, we'll go back to our dashboard. And we can easily create students as well. We do that in the same kind of way. You click on Create Student down here, and it'll bring up a very similar screen. Here's the students that we have. If we wanted to create a new student, we would simply click on Create New Student, and it would bring up a similar screen. Though, of course, the level of detail for students is a bit more than staff. Beyond their name, we have their birth date, their gender, their bar mitzvah location, their bar mitzvah date and time. When you enter that, it's going to automatically look up their bar mitzvah Torah portion, their address, and then, of course, secondary information. Again, none of this is required. We can import it from your synagogue database as well, but this is the kind of information that they can put in, and they can enter it in themselves, as well as hobbies and notes. You can assign their team members from the people that you have on your list. And then the service details, this will auto-populate based on the date that you've chosen. Any notes about the service, those would go here. And then parent information, that gets imported, the required information, and then you can import or type in the rest as you need. And then you can simply just save that student for now, or save them and send out an invitation to them and their parents to log into Mitzvah Tools. We'll go back to our dashboard again. Everything is really just 1 or 2 clicks away. So let's take a look at one student if we can. So we're going to look at Sarah Goldberg. So here I am as David Cohen, the rabbi, working with Sarah Goldberg. I'm going to click right on her picture, and that's going to take me into my working profile with Sarah. So I have the name of my synagogue here, Mitzvah Shul, and I know that it's me that's logged in, and I'm looking at Sarah. I can edit her profile, I can view her profile, I can print her service order. I also get information about her service as well. Here's one of those glitches we're working out. Sarah obviously is female, and this will say bat mitzvah. Little tiny things like that we have to fix. But it auto-populates her Torah portion, her Haftorah portion, her readings, including page references to the Chumash. We have a little bit of her attendance record here. We know when she last logged into the system. And we can go down here and we can see Sarah's tasks. And we've assigned her a task, actually, which was due on May 31st. The task was to chant the Friday evening Kiddush. And if I click on that, I can actually see what we sent Sarah. And this is what Sarah sees as well when she logs in. So I wrote, as Rabbi David Cohen, at home every Friday evening, lead the Friday night Kiddush with your family. Attached as a sound file and a copy of the prayer to help you with this task. And if I just click on the sound file...
We raise our cups with wine or juice and turn to the Kiddush on page 7 to bless the Holy Shabbat.
Yom HaShlishi Vayechulu HaShamayim.
And that plays right in her task. It's right there for her on any of her devices. There's also a JPEG here of the Friday Kiddush itself. She can comment, I can comment, we can add more files into this system. We can actually add resources from our resource bank if we want to. If we click on that, we have all the resources. These are just sample data that we've loaded into the system as well. So if we wanted to add to that the Saturday morning Kiddush, I could simply click on that and add the resource and then type and that shows up as an audio file. I'm going to assign it to Sarah Goldberg and I'm going to click submit, and that will now show up. The task has been successfully submitted. You can't really see that. I think it dropped off your screen a bit, but it's on mine. And when we log in as Sarah, she will see that as well. Let's go back to our dashboard. So we're going to take a look now at messages, team messages. So in addition to assigning tasks to a student, we can also just have some messages going back and forth, not associated with a task, but rather just a threaded conversation with the student. So if we click on Sarah's team, we can see here Sarah sent us a question. Rabbi, what is the name of my Torah portion and where can I find it in the Chumash? Rabbi will get an email on that. That will show up in his inbox with the comment and a link back into Mitzvah Tools to respond to the comment. And you can see down here that Rabbi David Cohen responded, Sarah, your Torah portion is Behukotai. Here's the information. And in fact, he attached a JPEG of the Torah portion as well. And if we were to click on this, and we'll just open it up in a new tab, we'll see here that there's the Torah portion that we attached to it. And Sarah would see that as well. We'll go back to our dashboard again. So that's team messages. Now we also want to have threaded conversations about Sarah that Sarah and her parents don't see. And we do that in staff notes. It's essentially the same kind of layout, but it's not viewed by Sarah or her parents. And so here, Rabbi David Cohen and our tutor Jacob are having a dialogue about the fact that Sarah is going away to camp. And we write that she's going to need her packet, and Jacob says that he'll prepare a packet for her. But actually, if they have a computer lab at camp, she can just log in and get her materials. In fact, if she forgets her stuff, she can ask the staff if she can log in and print out her materials there at camp, because they're always there and online, and we can respond back and forth. And all of these messages stay within our system. We'll go back to the dashboard again. And by the way, you could get to any of these things just by clicking directly on their links at the top. This is also available in the mobile view. So we have our resource bank as well. So if we click on resources, we can see all of the resources that we have in the system. Now, we just got some sample data in here, but if I sort by other resources, not Torah-related resources per se, we can see some of the resources that we have, and you can download those direct to your program, or to your computer, I should say. And to add a resource is really as easy as what I showed you before. We'll do one here for a second. So we'll just do Candle Blessing 2, and we're going to categorize this as other resource. We're going to categorize it as prayer. We're going to make that an Erev Shabbat. And then right here, I can just grab the Candle Blessing, which usually shows up here someplace. These are all the files on my computer. Let's try that one other way. We'll do name matches Candle Blessing, and there it is. That's a WAV file. We'll open that up, and boom, that's right in the system. We add the resource, and that's been added to our resource bank. If we go back to our resource library now, and we filter again by other resources, there's Candle Blessing 2. It's right there. Now we can assign it to Sarah just by clicking on it from our resource bank. Let's go back to our dashboard one more time. Okay, so let's log out of Mitzvah Tools and the David Cohen profile just by clicking log out up here. And now we're going to log in as Jacob, the tutor. I happen to have it set for the same password, so don't worry about that. I just want to show you couple of things that are different now. So Jacob's an educator, and he doesn't have the same access as we saw that David Cohen did. So he sees his student and tasks and appointments. We're going to come to that in just a moment. Team messages, you can see that there's one new message since the last time he logged in. So if he clicks on the student's team message and logs in, he can see this exchange that took place. But David hadn't seen that, or Jacob, the tutor, hadn't seen that, and so when he logs in, he sees that there's been some activity, that he can go look at it. We go back to dashboard for a moment, and let's go now down to appointments. So one of the most requested features that we've had in Mitzvah Tools is calendar integration, the ability to schedule appointments and to request appointments for students to schedule appointments based on availability, and we've built it into Mitzvah Tools, and it is really coming together nicely. So one of the things that Jacob can do is he can set his availability. I'm going to click on this here for a moment. And this is going to take you into a program called Setster, which is linked into Mitzvah Tools. There'll be a lot of training for you on this. There'll be online documentation, but I want to show you how it works. So really setting it up to link to your calendar is fairly simple. You select whether you have an Outlook or a Google Calendar, and then you just set up your calendar. It's going to ask you in opening up this window to grant access to your calendar. There's no exchange of passwords or anything here, so this is actually my calendar because I'm logged into Google. Takes a moment. Setster is going to access your Google Calendar, and it's going over the internet right now, and it's pulling up a string of files which will display in just a moment. And so here are all the calendars that I'm subscribed to. Don't let this overwhelm you. Not all of them are mine. But let's say I want to set my availability based on my main calendar, and then I would click Save. Now what we've done is we've linked your Mitzvah Tools calendar to your personal calendar, and I can import that data just by clicking on Import Now. Now by doing that, I'm not actually importing my calendar information. What I'm doing is I'm importing my free busy. So none of your details about your appointments are imported, but rather instead what is imported is here's the synchronizing feature, just your free busy information. But this will help in scheduling appointments because it will allow you to block out times that you are already not available. To set your availability, you would just click up here, and it brings up this handy little blocked time schedule. It looks fairly familiar. And anything that has a blue square in it, a dark blue square, means that you are not available. So, or means that you are available, excuse me. So we're going to turn some of those off. And we just delete them this way so that we can adjust our availability. You can also set the time that you are out of office. You can do it either way, blocking the times that you're available or the times that you're not available. So usually we don't see students before, let's say, 3:30 in the afternoon, so we can block that out. And I don't want to see any students on Thursday afternoon, and I don't want to see any students after, we'll create one block on Friday, but we'll delete the rest. So we'll give you a lot of training on this, but you can click Save here, and that's going to update my availability. You can also then export your appointments into your Google Calendar, and that's set up the same way, removing and canceling appointments. The other thing that we want to show you is how you would actually create an appointment with a student. Now, students can request appointments through Mitzvah Tools, but you can actually create an appointment with them. And so if we go to New Appointment, and we're going to just start typing our client's name, and there's Sarah Goldberg. She's in the system. She's going to show up. You just click on it. We'll set our location as a synagogue. This doesn't have to be specific. We're going to select our service type. Now these will already be pre-programmed into Mitzvah Tools for you. Here's a 30-minute tutoring session. Who is that with? Now this is where your name would show up here. This is one of the last little features that we're still working out. It's one of the reasons why our program is delayed, is we're just still passing this information through these two programs. And then you would set the date. You can set the time. There's a time picker here to make it easy for you. 5:15, and it can be a 15-minute duration if you want. And you can even add some notes about the appointment. So all of that is there. You can click Save. Now if I click Save right now, it's not going to work because we haven't set the provider, and that's one of the things that's just delaying our release to you. We're working on that right now, and it'll be ready in a couple of days. So let me just exit out of the calendar picker. But as you can see, we had already requested an appointment. Sarah's mom actually had requested an appointment, and that's triggered a chain of emails where you've got an email request. I'm sure many of us are familiar with this. The email request that comes in, accept or decline the appointment, and you accept it. It shows up in your calendar, it shows up in Sarah's calendar, it shows up in Sarah's mom's calendar, and it shows up in Mitzvah Tools for everybody. So let me just take us here again. We're going to log out. We're going to log in one last time, and this time we're going to log in as Beth Goldberg. Now, who is Beth Goldberg? Beth Goldberg is Sarah's mom. So we log in as Sarah's mom, and the first thing that Sarah's mom sees, and see here we are as Beth Goldberg, is she's going to see her child's name. It's possible that Beth might have had twins or have two kids that are having B'nai Mitzvah at the same time. And so we've accounted for that, and both of those students would show up based on Beth's login. She just has to log in with one username and password, and she can pick the student that she wants to oversee in terms of the account. And so now she is a parent dashboard. Beth Goldberg is right here, but she's looking at her own child, Sarah Goldberg, and she can see there's 20 minutes until her bar mitzvah, or bat mitzvah. Again, we're going to fix that. Her attendance record, her Torah portion, all of her reading summary. She can see her honors, and by clicking on this page, Beth can actually input the honors into the system. So here we have the first aliyah, and we're going to make this Sam Goldberg, and we're going to give him the Hebrew name of Shmuel ben Aharon, and we can just click Update the Honor, and that is done. And so if we go back into the dashboard and back to Sarah Goldberg, that honor will show up in her honors list. So if we click on honors again, there's Sam Goldberg, there's his name, and we left the comment as this is the first aliyah, but that comment could have said, for example, Sam is in a wheelchair and needs time to come up the ramp, or something like that, whatever you want, and update the honor again. Some of these little clicks back and forth, those are some of the other things that we're just ironing out, those types of details. Here we can see as Beth, the parent, we can see who Sarah's team is. She can initiate an email, or excuse me, she can see Jacob's email. We like to keep the communications within the system. Obviously, you could copy this and paste it for an email, but we don't make that a link on purpose because we want to keep the emails within the system. But she can initiate a Skype call or a FaceTime call, and even the phone number. And if you were on an iPhone or an Android device, you could just click that link and it would dial the phone. You can request an appointment here. So Beth can request an appointment. A tutoring appointment is what we have in the system right now, and she can request it with Jacob the tutor, and she can request it for Thursday, and this was Jacob's availability for Thursday. We'll make it 4 o'clock, and she can add a note. Really need to see you. She is very excited about her service. Even does spell check. And then we can submit that. And voila, an email will go off. In fact, I can show you that email now. I think it's going to come through on my system. We'll close out of this. And here is the email here. And so we have, just double click it. So Sarah Goldberg has scheduled an appointment. You have a new unconfirmed appointment pending your confirmation. Here's the appointment details. The provider is Jacob the tutor. Here's the time and when and where. and who it's with. Sarah Goldberg is the student. This is her email address. And all you need to do is click here to confirm the appointment or click here to decline the appointment. And if you do that, it's going to show up in your calendar and their calendar, and also it's going to show up in Mitzvah Tools. So let's just click here and confirm the appointment. The appointment is now confirmed. And close the browser. We'll just do a refresh here on the page. And we scroll down, and now we've got Sarah's appointments right here, and we can see the 2 appointments that have been made. That's a bit underneath the hood of Mitzvah Tools. There's a lot more I could show you, but we're going to stop there and just whet your appetite a bit more. So give us another few days or week or so before Shavuot. By the time the Torah arrives at Mount Sinai, Mitzvah Tools will arrive in your inbox with instructions. We thank you so much for supporting our program, for supporting this project. We're very excited to bring this kind of technology to Bar Mitzvah program management, and we can't wait to work with you and partner with you on making this the very best platform for your synagogue and for every synagogue around the country. Thank you so much. We will be in touch.